Supporters say he has brought Islam back. For Washington and much of Western Europe, an open secret, the end of Erdogan would be their new Turkish delight.
So is the Turkish CBI program, the Turkish passport program, going to survive post-May 28th? That's the big question. But before that, how did we get here?
Turks by the thousands waved flags and cheered a seemingly triumphant President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. But these party songs may be too soon.
Early results put Erdogan comfortably ahead, but as the count continued, his advantage slid. Sunday's vote is one of the most consequential elections in the country's 100-year history.
Elections are not won on the balcony. Data is still coming in, said opposition candidate Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. He could still be president.
Let's say Kemal takes the elections home, then you are talking about a very, very solid, strong threat to this program's existence.
A defeat for Erdogan will likely unnerve the Kremlin, but comfort the Biden administration, as well as many European and Middle Eastern leaders who had troubled relations with Erdogan.
Inflation near 2-decade highs and a currency that's crashed against the dollar have shaken once seemingly invincible support for Erdogan.
So the Turkish CBI program, by its design, is the creation of the great Recep Tayyip Erdogan. He's the one who really had the program in place. He favors the program. He wants the program. He's the one who made it very, very attractive, down from $1 million to $250K. Almost everyone took advantage of this all-important program. A lot of people from the Asian countries, particularly Pakistan, they benefited from this Turkish CBI program. But now is the decisive moment, the deciding factor, the judgment day for this all-important, exciting CBI. Now, the CBI was at $250K USD, very attractive, too good to be true. Turkey was not on the FATF gray list. Subsequently, Turkey got put on the FATF gray list. That was a big setback for a lot of people from countries which are not on the FATF gray list. The second big blow for this program was the bump in price from $250K to $400K. That really eliminated a lot of people from the equation. The program itself was very economical because the $250K was in your own property. Now the $400K is in your own property, but obviously the threshold has become double to qualify for citizenship. So a lot of risk, a lot of uncertainty at $400K. But the pressure was clearly on Erdogan. He could not outright scrap the program without any reason. So one of the things that he had to do before the elections was raise the price, make it more difficult, reduce the applicants to this program, because the locals don't like such programs once they are oversubscribed. As a result, we are here. The elections, the first round of elections, or the main round of elections, happen on 14th of May. Now, just by a whisker, just by a very, very small percentage, 0.5 percentage point, Erdogan missed out on winning and sweeping the elections. Now, had Erdogan won the elections, there was no doubt, absolutely no doubt that this was in favor of the Turkish CBI program. There are more than enough chances that he would have continued with this program at $400K. Now, there are two big questions. Now that that has not happened, he has not been able to sweep the elections by more than 50% majority. Now Turkey heads on to that all-important, crucial, critical runoffs on May 28th. So what's really going to happen on May 28th? And you have on one side, you have Erdogan, who is the hot favorite at this time, just by a narrow margin. He leads, but leads by a very small margin. Now on the other side, you have Kemal, who had 44.5% votes approximately in that first round. Now he enters with Erdogan head-to-head, and there's going to be a second round of voting. There's going to be a runoff in Turkey, and that's where these two giants are going to clash. Now, once that happens on 28th, we should have a president for Turkey. We should have a clear winner. Now, there are three outcomes that can happen on May 28th, or let's say after May 28th. One is if Erdogan wins the elections, there are two things that can happen. And if Erdogan loses the elections and Kemal wins the elections, then there's only one likelihood, there's one possibility. So I'm going to discuss all of this in detail. So let's say we are on May 28th and we have Erdogan as the winner in Turkey. Then we are looking at two possibilities. One is Erdogan will keep the program intact as is at 400K. There's going to be a spike in applications at that point because people would have known what's happening. The program has very good chances of remaining because it's Erdogan now. And that's where people will feel more comfortable to, yes, let's go ahead and do this. So even at 400K, because of the stability, people will continue to apply to this program. Now, Erdogan can choose to keep it at 400K. I don't see any reason why Erdogan will bump the price of this program from 400K to any higher, because then the takers would diminish at that point. Might as well cancel the program, do away with it, right? So that he's not going to want that. So he's going to most likely keep the program at least at 400K. The second scenario that can happen is that he can reduce the price of the program from that 400K to either 250, what it was before, at which level it was a hot favorite amongst a lot of people, or let's say 300K, slightly more than 250. He can fluctuate the price, reduce it now that the elections are out of the picture. So that's one possibility. The chances of it remaining at 400K, I would say, is at 75 to 80%. So 80% chances the program is going to remain what it is if Erdogan wins the election, and there's 20% chances that he might change or fluctuate the price. I feel there's 0% chances of him increasing the price from 400K to, let's say, 500K. Now let's flip the scenario and let's say Kemal takes the elections home. Then you are talking about a very, very solid, strong threat to this program's existence. The opposition has constantly voiced their concerns, dissatisfactions against the CBI programs. They have garnered a lot of votes from people who were against the CBI program. So there's a good chance that the moment he wins, one of the sweeping reforms that are very likely to happen is that this program could be ended, could be phased off, could be terminated with some notice, let's say a month or two. They could make changes. And Turkey is very, very popular for making changes very quick, right? So they announce the changes, in a month they are implemented, no more new apps, and the changes are instantly in effect. So there's very good chances. I would say there's close to 85 to 90% chance the program would eventually get terminated if Kemal comes into power. It's a very, very slim chance, maybe a 5% to 10% chance that he might still keep the program. For how long, that we do not know. And therefore, the runoffs on May 28th are going to be critical, are going to be crucial for what happens in Turkey. Turkish CBI program has been one of the hottest CBI programs amongst all, one of the most, or I would say the most popular programs in the last 3 years. If this program ends post May 28th, this is going to be another nail in the coffin of RCBI. This industry has been heavily hurt a lot in the last 3 years, with Cyprus gone, Malta gone, Bulgaria gone, Montenegro gone, North Macedonia gone. There's hardly anything good left. What used to be at least theoretically known as Plan B is now busted by a lot of Western governments. All eyes on those passports that you get for cheap. So all those options, which used to be somewhat of an option, let's say 20% of an option, are non-options in my opinion. Virtually, they have been killed. And I wouldn't want to name any particular CBIs, but when you have other governments interfering, monitoring, watching, making changes when they need it, that is when you know these are not Plan Bs. these are something else. So Turkey was this all-important, neutral, solid, stable, attractive, diversified, important CBI program. But with this election, the fate is hanging. So it's going to be super exciting what happens on May 28th. I hope the CBI can survive. My personal hope is that Erdogan wins. I'm vouching for Erdogan to win this election. All eyes, all hopes are on May 28th. That is going to be the deciding factor of the Turkish CBI program. It's a hot, solid passport. It's a diversified passport. Yes, the program is a little chaotic. Yes, the program is a little unstable, uncertain, but that is because it's not generating a lot of marketing revenues for marketing agencies. A lot of the Western marketing agencies don't participate in selling Turkey. So that is the reason why it is really a very good program. Yes, it is chaotic, but it is good nonetheless. So make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to cover this all-important change no matter what happens, whichever way it goes. What happens with the Turkish CBI is very critical. A lot of people who aren't even interested or not even doing the Turkish CBI are going to be very, very interested in the fate of the Turkish CBI. So if you're subscribed and if you turn on the bell notification, you're going to be the first one to be notified whatever happens to that CBI program. Hopefully, it's all going to be positive. Hopefully, it's going to stay back. And let's hope for the best of the future of Turkey and the future of the Turkish CBI. Catch you in the next one.